Imagine a league built by the people, for the people. A league dedicated to the economic development of your city. So the question becomes, how good are the 32 teams that play in the minor football league? Well, there's only one way to find out. You have to experience the MFL. The MFL.
Welcome to another edition of Inside the MFL. I'm your host, Richard Myles Sr, CEO, Chairman, and founder of the Minor Football League. It's a great Friday, but don't forget to wear your face mask. Don't forget to wear them. This pandemic is not a joke. Too many people have succumbed to it. And I want to make sure people in MFL Nation is very careful. I want to make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. As you can see, we're one of the sponsors of the prostate run. We do it every year for the last 3 years, and I want men of color to get your prostate checked. Please get your prostate checked. And if you don't have the money to be able to take care of that, then give us a call and we'll give you the numbers where you can have that screening done free, because it's taking a lot of people of color out, and I know as people of color, Black, African Americans, we don't like going to the doctor. Besides me, I go to the doctor all the time because I'm at the age now. I can't be too careful. But I also want to say, make sure that we do the things we need to do to protect us and our family. Do not be selfish because you see other people without a face mask on. Please put yours on. If you need to, put gloves on too, So I want to be able for us to tell our story. We have one of our GMs on today from down in Atlanta, Georgia, Mr. Barlow. You know what? Before I introduce him, I want to tell MFL Nation that the MFL is moving the Steelers from Michigan down to Philadelphia. So we're going to move that franchise. And I spoke to a young man that I'm very excited about. Thanks to GM Mr. Barlow told me about him. We had the opportunity to talk to him. Right now, we're going to interview him and stuff. But he's been in law enforcement, our type of people, the type of people we want involved with the MFL. He's doing a lot of great work up there in Philadelphia and excuse me, in putting our franchise there. So we are excited about that. But let me bring on Mr. Barlow, Chuck Barlow Jr. down in Atlanta, and tell us what's going on down there. How you doing today, sir? Wait a minute, let me get you.
Good evening. All is well. How you all doing?
I'm doing good. How's your family and everything?
My family's doing well. We're here trying to make sure that everything is all in well. This COVID-19 and all the other challenges that our communities are faced with. We're here to make sure that we keep everybody safe. I want to let you know that I have my mask too. I'm masked up. Making sure that I, practice the social distances and the safety. We want to make sure that we're clear about that. Take care of your families. We've had several of our family members that have fallen into the COVID, and we've been telling everybody in our families, just stay safe, take the precautionary measures, quarantine, make sure you're eating healthy and taking your vitamins. It's all about, the preventive and intervention. You don't want to wait till something is in crisis to deal with it. So, but I'm happy to be here. I'm excited. The MFL is here in Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia. We're ready to experience the MFL. We've had some excited coaches announcements, head coach and defense coordinator. Have some more announcements coming soon. We've got some good responses, even about the stadium and things. And, we're excited.
Absolutely. And you're doing a great job down there. I can't be more pleased in what you're doing since taking over. And I know you had that together, but more importantly, you introduced me to someone that I was very impressed with up there in Philadelphia. You know, anybody, you know, when you're in law enforcement, you know, that's a lot on both sides, as far as your family, then you talk about the public because of what's going on with law enforcement today.
Right.
And I say everybody's not bad, but you have bad and good no matter what profession you in. And it's unfortunate that we don't want to forget the things that happen to people of color, but we really don't want to say all police are bad.
Right.
You have some bad ones and you have some good ones. That's just like anything else. But the MFL is the laboratory of change. Right. We want to bring former players from the field to the front office. We want these young men to understand that it is another alternative to the other league. So don't get down on yourself because you was not called by them. The MFL is getting ready to hold open tryout coming soon.
Right.
And Mr. Chuck Barlow Jr., you're not going to get me to give you no date. So you get there. All the GMs, you know, they just waiting for me. And excuse me, as it is down in Florida as well, you know, our GM down there, he is cited and all over. But we want everybody to understand, y'all safety is more important to us than in the game of football. And we also want people to know the NFL is a laboratory of change because it's beyond the field. I mean, we want to teach these young men entrepreneurship. We want to teach these young men an opportunity to do things, to prepare them for after football.
Right.
That's what we're doing. And also, even with, I know schools are not in right now, we have to work from home, but we want these young people, if you're in broadcast journalists, if you're in marketing, if you're in PR, if you're in a sports management, call us. We have intern positions for your guys.
Yes, sir.
You with your reels and stuff. So don't just sit home and say, oh, well, I'm not going to school. I'm doing stuff at home. Here's something exciting in your field that you can do. So we want you to understand the MFL is definitely the laboratory of change. Check out our website, mflishere.com. You can go to our social media. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're on all these different platforms. So please give us a call. We're excited about going to Africa, as you know, 16 franchises.
That's right.
We got everything thanks to Chuck Barlow Jr. We had the last 2 franchises locked down with these young men giving you an opportunity to ownership here, opportunity for GM position where we're paying you. We give you opportunity for coaching. So we want these young men to understand we want you, especially the HBCUs, we are looking at you, you know, we want you, you know, and we telling people, you know, your career is not over. But just imagine, gentlemen, playing in the state that you grew up in and played for, where you still relevant, so people in your community see people look like them playing this game. And not only football, it's just not about football with the MFL. We want people to understand that it's the laboratory change. So whatever your major is in college and stuff, give us a call. It's very important. So I just wanted to just tag that real quick and let people know I'm proud of all the GMs we have. I mean, these guys are working hard all over the city. Everybody's excited. I know y'all ready to hit the field. We have over 5,000 guys to register for the NFL combines. So we're not doing no cattle call, gentlemen. Each state going to have 3 tryouts, and each GM should be able to sign 20 players from each combine. That give you a total of 60 players. We will occur 60 players, gentlemen, and we're no different from anything else. We want the people that can perform the best and give you an opportunity where these other leagues can look at you. But right now, we want you to understand the MFL will give you an opportunity you don't generally find outside of college or professional football. That's what this is. We are the laboratory chain. We're the only minor developed league in the country. So when you hear people talking about that, what they call a semi-pro, there's no such thing as semi-pro. Either you're pro or you're not. That was the ignorant term people use to justify Sandlot football. And like I said, you HBCUs and all other colleges in the country, we get ready to sign 60 players per franchise. That's a lot of guys.
Yes, sir.
So, gentlemen, if you want that opportunity and you want to show what you can do, and I know a lot of y'all always say, if I just get the opportunity,
yes,
but now you're getting the opportunity.
Right.
Be careful what you ask for, because you might get it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, what's interesting about the minor football league is you've done an awesome job go to the website, ladies and gentlemen, go to the website, the MFLishere.com. I mean, the board that you put together, the people who understand and see the same vision. I mean, it is amazing. It's amazing for people to work together. That's what we see in the MFL. The way that the GMs, yes, we are going to be competitive, right? We know on the field we have to hit head to head and get our guys prepared to play on Saturdays. But the main thing is that, you know, you're giving guys who actually played in the NFL another chance to coach on another level, to show that they are capable of coaching in any league. Like I said, and I posted on my page, check us out, the Georgia Warriors on Facebook. You know, we have coaches who play for those teams in those other professional leagues at a high level, some Super Bowl players. So I think, you know, the MFL, and not just the Georgia Warriors, but are giving guys who've shown that they can be able to perform on the field that same opportunity to perform off the field and in the front office. And I think that the MFL is not just about what happens on the field or in the front office in our organizations, but also for entrepreneurs of color, you know, getting them involved, making sure that their businesses are advertised, you know, making sure that the communities that we actually are going to be serving. Like I made it very clear when I became the GM of the Georgia Warriors that we want to touch all 159 counties in Georgia. You know, we don't want to be a metro Atlanta city team. We want to be a statewide team where we actually come to the needs of the community. You know, we working with nonprofit organizations right now where we're doing food distributions. We're working with agencies to identify resources and organizations that already have things available for our communities. You know, and I think that's what the MFL is really all about, the laboratory of change. How can we use our influence in the Sport for Good platform to be able to impact communities and bring people together?
And, you know, I can't say enough about you young GMs, but think about this. Did you ever thought at your age you would become a GM of a professional franchise? Think about that.
I mean, I had aspirations to be something great. You know, a lot of our young males of color grow up with greatness on their mind and in their heart. It's just all about people like yourself giving them the opportunity. You know, congratulations on you getting your doctorate as well. I want to say that to you and all the other GMs and owners that are part of the MFL, you know, taking that step and understanding that the title that we carry when we go to that level is not about the title. It's about us showing that we are willing to put in the work and we're in the community serving, because you can't get those type of titles in some places without doing the work. And I think it's critical that we look for other organizations and agencies that share that same vision and identify young people who are ready to step up. You know, that's one of the things that the Georgia Warriors want to focus on. You know, we're not just trying to bring in a lot of the just elder or mature individuals. We want to look for some of that young talent. Like you said, we want talent that's coming fresh out of college, some of the high school interns that want to be referees. You know, how can we be able to provide those opportunities locally, and making sure that even the jobs and apprenticeships and then entrepreneurial training is available to young people in our communities, even our athletes. You know, like one of the things you talked about earlier about Sean up in Philly. You know, he's out in the community making sure veterans get connected to services. You know, do you know how many veterans are in our communities that are not connected to services? You know, that is a noble cause. Why wouldn't I want to partner and be able to connect somebody like that to the MFL, knowing that the MFL already has veteran connections, you know? And so it's all about us really being servants in our community. We know that the entertainment that we provide, the safe space we provide for young people and families during our games is not just what we're all about. We're all about building ecosystems and making sure that the resources that are available actually get to the people who need them the most. So I mean, I'm excited. I want to make sure that we don't just focus on the resources that come to Georgia, but how can we identify the resources in every market that the MFL is in, even in our markets in Africa, because we have contacts in all of our cities. You know, you talked about the MFL, the National Minor Football League in Africa, right? You know, there are African communities in every state in the United States of America, right? So in some cases, we don't necessarily have to go across the water to make that first step in connection. You know, let's look at our communities. What can we do? If everybody just took the time to, you know, take a day to just focus on trying to do something better in your community, our communities would be a much better place a lot earlier than we think they could be.
Absolutely. And we are definitely going to mobilize all of these organizations. And like I said, the great thing about the MFL, I would be remiss if I didn't recognize our owner up in Rochester, New York, Dr. Pat Freeman.
That's right.
It goes to show you that this is attainable. You can own a professional franchise. Stop being misled with people telling you you can't do something. We people of color, we always got something we're not supposed to be able to afford. You got that car that you're not supposed to be able to afford. You got that house. So these are things that really depreciate in value. But when you're talking about the MFL, you're talking about economic development, jobs.
That's right.
And more importantly, when we come to these different states and cities, we're not asking for no tax cut. No, we don't want any of that. What we want to do is get people to understand that we can do this ourselves.
Right. That's right.
People of color, we're the biggest consumers in America. We have nothing to show for it.
That's right.
When are we going to stop? When are we going to stop? The norm is gone. Believe me, it's gone. Right. So keep waiting for, as people say, well, we waiting for things to get back to the norm. It's not coming back. That's it. It is what it is. And I tell people, God's in charge. You know, God's in charge. You're not in charge.
That's right.
God's in charge. Things happen for a reason.
That's right.
Okay. People talking about, oh, the MFL, this is new. No. It's new to you. We've been around for going on 26 years.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Thank God for social media.
That's right.
You know, and I want people to understand that you have an opportunity to coach.
Yeah.
You know, for years and years, I've seen it in my young days when I was young. And now, let me date myself. Well, you had great coaches in college and high school. Yeah. Because of the glass ceiling, they did not have the opportunity to coach.
Right. Right.
With that other league. Mm-hmm. Some of the big white universities. And it's not that they wasn't good enough to coach.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, let's say it is what it is.
Right.
Okay. So let's stop trying to go somewhere where don't nobody want you. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
They don't want you there. Embrace what you have. You understand?
Right.
The greatest players that we just lost one, and I wouldn't be remiss if I didn't mention Gale Sayers.
Yes, sir.
Walter Payton.
Yes, sir.
Think about, I can go on and on, but these people was not given the opportunity to. These people was not given the opportunity to
right.
a professional franchise.
Right. And, you know, I was just thinking, too, you know, I want to make sure that I highlight what you just said about GM and owner, Pat Freeman. You know, him being able to put together a strong board, you know, of women and females being able to, you know, lead and be able to put together a nice a board of women who are already doing great things in their community. I think is a great representation of how we realize that equity is not equality, right? And we have to be able to provide those opportunities for our women and our men of color in our communities to be in positions of leadership to make our communities better.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm telling Johnson that this, you know, this technology and stuff. Johnson, you know, the producer here, he's not, you know, he got to stay with me. You know, he got to stay with me. But and you make a great point there, Chuck. we need to understand that no one can do this for us.
Right.
No one. In other words, it's just like when you was young coming up and you had a bully be picking with you all the time.
Right.
And you know you got a big brother to go get, but your big brother tell you, you're going to have to
handle that. Right.
I'm not going to fight this for you.
Right.
But then again, we don't want nobody fighting for us.
That's right.
We want to be able to do it ourselves. And like I say, it's very important that we understand what the MFL is about, what it entails. You know, let's break it down. We tell everybody, come experience the MFL. The MFL is the laboratory of change. Look at this, dissect this, understand what it means, break it down, and you'll find out that, wait a minute, we all need to be a part of this.
That's right.
We too often, we always afraid of when a man of color is doing something and you're people of color, because we still had this mentality of thinking, if it ain't white, it ain't right. We got to stop that. And I'm just going to go and say that. And also, I want people to understand, this is not the Negro Leagues.
No.
It's the minor football league.
That's
so
right.
we don't want people thinking, oh, well, I'm a Caucasian American. They talking about a black league. No, we didn't say it was a black league. It's owned by black.
Right.
That other league is owned by white people, but how many people of color in there? Right. They got more people of color there than they do in their own color. So we want people to understand that we don't want this, if there's some confusion there, then let me clarify, let me bring some clarity to it.
Right.
We're advocating, well, we don't want nothing but all black players. No.
Right.
No, that's not what we're saying. But what I am saying is, now we want to look out for our people as well.
Right.
Our people. We're not telling somebody of another nationality that you don't come out for our combine. If you good, then you're going to play.
That's right.
Find you.
That's right.
Remember that. But when every time someone of color stand up for us, then we have to be militant. We got, we talking against the establishment. No, we're not. We just standing up for us. Everybody else standing up for their races. Why can't we stand up for ours?
Right.
You know, don't be afraid.
Right.
You know, why? Because I dare to be different. You dare to be different. All of us dare to be different, because it's time for people of color to stand up and say, hey, we can do this.
Right. I mean, when you talk to your friends from other nationalities, they say the same thing to you. And they say the same thing. They're saying, hey, Myles, when are you all going to step up? When are you all going to realize that you all have to be the lead of your own renaissance? You know, we've been here before. You know, I think, people of color have been before. It's not like we've always had the red carpet. Anything that's been built, we've built it. You know, most of the things people don't know have been built by people of color. You know, we may have not been able to own the patent, but, if you go back and search the history books, most of the stuff that we use that make life better for us, somebody of color had their hands on it somewhere. So I think we have to acknowledge the truth as what it is, right? And understand that, we have to acknowledge those who've gone before us, the John Lewises, the Justice Ginsburg, right? Those who have given their entire lives. At first, I used to feel some kind of way about it. Like, why would you do that for the whole life? And I realized as I got older, because that was their calling. So when you realize what your calling is, you must step into it and live it all the way through. Just like the MFL, like, I want to coach, right? And I know I have skills, but there are coaches and GM coaches that I have, they have a little bit more experience that really deserve this opportunity more so than me, right? I mean, I got guys who had some of the top 40 times in the combine, but didn't get necessarily a chance to play like they wanted to because of some circumstances. I'm talking about 4.26s, 4.28s. If you don't believe me, check them out. You'll see. And guess what they decided to do? Guess what they're doing now? They're not sitting on the bench somewhere talking about how I used to do this and used to do that. No. They're coaching. They're training. One of my coaches, his son is doing so well, he's been courted by top Major League Baseball teams. Now, he is a football coach and doing these type of things. But what you see is that these guys are giving back to other kids. And guess what? Somebody needs to be looking out for them. I mean, we need to be more open to realize that it's okay to celebrate somebody else's wins. It's okay to celebrate somebody else's successes. And one of the things I can say about you, Myles, and the guys you have in your organization, I hope that, when I get to be your age, that I'm doing greater things than you, right? Because that's what's to be expected. Not, I'm doing what Dr. Myles did or Dr. Pat Freeman did or what Mel Forbes did. No, the expectation has to be higher. And that's what I want to do with this Georgia Warriors organization. I want to be able to bring in people who understand we're trying to build a foundation of inheritance. You don't inherit nothing you don't want. You know what I mean? You don't pass on something that's not worth having. And so, the goal of the MFL about the laboratory change and, being inclusive, you got GMs that's of different nationalities. We're going to have coaches that's of different nationalities. Our thing is, let's bring what you have your A game to the table, everybody who comes. Let's not look at what's so different about us, right? Let's respect the differences, but let's look at who are the professionals that have come to the table to make somebody else better. That's one thing I learned about the MFL. It's not just about you who come to the table who get the opportunity. It's about you who realize, who are you going to share this opportunity with? And I remember you telling me, man, share it with people. Let them know. I mean, everybody I've shared it with understand and see the vision that you always tell me. You say documentation beats conversation.
Absolutely. And as we I like to just go back to, people always say, get one, teach one. You know what I mean? That's how we progress, and we need to stop thinking that we can't do things or we don't want people to give us anything. You know what I mean? We're going to earn it. We're going to earn it. And I just want people to understand that, and kudos to Deion Sanders for going to HBCU.
Right.
And Coach, I not had the pleasure of, I did not go to HBCU, but I think this is the right direction now, because you get most kids, they rather go sit on the bench 4 years at a dominant white school and not play when you can go to a historical black school and play.
That's right. Right.
And we got to understand. And when all of a sudden we start getting, uppity now. I mean, peanut butter sandwich is still sensational to me. You know where you come from. So all of a sudden you can't do this and you can't go there. And I'm guilty. I'm guilty of that. When I visited HBCUs back there in the 70s, early 70s, but that was just the mentality we had, and we're thinking that we better off there. But when you really look at it, you had a lot of great players come out of the HBCU.
That's right. I mean, it's top 5 guys now.
Great players. And if I was not ignorant to that, maybe I would have went to HBC schools, because I was offered by a lot of them. Southern, Howard University, A&T. A lot of them was offering me scholarships, but I just feel like, I got to go somewhere else and show them and it was the wrong, and when I look back on things, I can really say it was the wrong thing to do. I don't care how successful I was there, that was the wrong thing to do. And what we need to do is we got to start building of our own and stop going away. Because if you're talented, people going to see you, no matter where you're at.
That's true.
So just take that stigma away, thinking that you got to go to a big school in order to be seen, because that's not true.
Right. But you know what? Myles, I'm not gonna fault you that. I have to give my big ups to our PWIs, those who have given our athletes of color the opportunity to play. Because there was some of them who actually broke the seal. When everybody kept saying no, there were people who, I think it was Bear Bryant. Was it Bear Bryant who said, "No, I'm gonna have me some"?
He told them down there, they might thought they was invincible down there in that Southern Conference, but he went up there and talked to USC and Coach McKay, because I was recruited by USC too. And when Cunningham and them went down there, and they showed him what was what, and Bear Bryant, it knew exactly what he was doing, because he always wanted to recruit black players, but the state of Mississippi, Alabama wasn't going for it. But after that whooping they took, he told them, that's why we need those players.
That's right. That's right.
Everybody say after that whooping, we got to get some of those guys.
That's right.
He wasn't black no more then, we got to get some of those
players, right? Players, and,
I mean,
and it's funny you say that, right? Because think about 1940s, right? 1950s when the HBCUs were not allowed. Players of color were not allowed to attend the PWIs, right? And so you think about that 1941 national championship team that Morris Brown College had. You think about that 1951 national championship team. I tell people all the time, I wonder if, a Morris Brown Georgia Tech game in 1941 or 1951 could have happened. And I already know the answer. No, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it. Because they knew the type of guys that Morris Brown was bringing in. Matter of fact, during the 1950s, I think Morris Brown had more number one draft picks than the neighboring Division I school. And a lot of times, let me go back to what I was really trying to say, Miles. And this is this. We got to do a better job at educating people about the significance of our HBCUs. Absolutely. And those PWIs who have research institutions that have been supporting them. The Atlanta University Center in Atlanta, Georgia is the largest conglomeration of Black colleges and universities. But many of the students who may attend even the neighboring schools don't know the history of that space. Mm-hmm. They don't know that was one of the spaces that Sherman, when he came through Atlanta, was a lookout point. They don't know that. They don't know that W.E.B. Du Bois wrote some of his greatest research and created graphs that people never seen on that campus, on Morris Brown's campus. Mm-hmm. The institution that has never been closed but has gone through struggles and is on the way to rebounding. We got to be more resilient, Miles. We have to realize that we're going to face some challenges. We're going to face some obstacles. But one of the things I have learned from the men in my life is that, yeah, you're right, but you got to be resilient. You got to learn how to take the good days with the bad days, and you got to be able to hold strong with each other, especially during a tough time. They say leaders don't really rise when it's a party. They show up when ain't nobody there. So it's almost, it's like, are we really building bridges to making our communities better places? Are we really looking back at, like I tell you, the guys that I have coached or trained or worked with, right? I know where they should be. They should get this opportunity. The world needs to see what they're going to offer. I can't wait. Georgia football, we ranked in the top 5 every year. We got NFL players all over the country, playing from Georgia. And I feel like there are a lot of guys who didn't get the opportunity, who need another chance, who may have made some mistakes in life. And I feel like the relationship that the MFL has created, the pipeline that the MFL has created, people don't know. I'll just kind of close with this. When Michael Vick got in trouble, nobody was happy about that. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody was happy about that. And I feel bad for the owners and the players and the teammates because that affected everybody. But the MFL realized that, hey, wait a minute, here's an opportunity for us not to just try to do something for ourselves, but this young man need to be back on that field to keep other guys motivated and realize that we all fall down, but we must get back up. And sometimes my father tells me like this: setbacks are set up for comebacks. And so I think that it's important for us to be able to provide those spaces to allow people to come back and be able to contribute back to their communities.
Absolutely. And what you stated earlier, I mean, we've been having rough times all our lives. So that's not new to us. Right. And we have moved on from it. So that's not nothing new for us. And for people to say that we didn't have it hard or we got to learn how to get up, we've been doing it all our lives. For the last 400 some years we've been here. We came out of this slavery stuff. So that's not an excuse for me, I would make, because, we know what we're facing here. Mm-hmm. And we improvise, we adapt, we adjust, and we're still here. So a lot of the things that you're saying is true. And even I did not know the history of HBCUs. And I was ignorant in terms of that because I did not know. But I know now. And
that's right.
At my age, you're not never too old to learn a lot. But, we want these young men to understand that, we want you to come here. We want to offer. I always feel that late coach Eddie Robinson was the greatest coach I ever laid eyes on. I had the opportunity to meet him when I went down to Grambling for a visit, but he should have been coaching in the NFL.
Right.
What I want to do is talk about Bear Bryant. But Bear Bryant, even in the good and the bad things that he was a part of, he did show them, hey man, we got to make a change. Because sooner or later, we're going to have to play those schools.
That's right.
I mean, and you can't keep avoiding things. You can't keep avoiding situations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they had their first high school all-star game here in Washington, D.C., and then the High won. They beat the Catholic schools. Now, that's something that, you know, they will never do because of the racial stuff. It's not that the players did not want to play.
Right.
That stigma of that racist undertone. You know what I mean?
Right.
And even when I was in school, we loved to play. When I was in high school, they get a chance to play in the Catholic school.
Right.
But now we're gonna show them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But the Catholic school did win a lot of the regular season games.
Mm-hmm.
Came to the championship game.
Right.
That's where the whole city come to RFK Stadium, and the Roosevelts and other schools will beat. St. John's had a great team.
Right.
Roosevelt beat them 45-0. To show you,
right?
You know, so you looking at, and I think racism is an attitude. I think
it is. Mm-hmm.
I don't think people are born with it.
Mm-hmm.
An attitude, and some people don't know no better.
Right.
It's on both sides, and we need to understand that we're going to deal with adversity every day of our lives, every day of our lives. You know, so that's not the hard part. You know, you deal with that all the time. It's just getting people of color to understand that this is the laboratory of change. This is it. This is you think about it. You made the NFL what it is.
Right.
Think about it.
Right.
Think about the NBA, baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Think about if you took players of color out of that equation. Period. Just take them out of the equation. Period. Where do you think it would be?
The viewership, it goes down. I mean, the dollars, the sponsorship, everything. I mean, look, they tried it before.
No,
they tried it before. This is not the first time.
No, wait a minute now. If we all can agree to disagree, and I'm not telling nobody what to do with their life, but just think for one think about this. If we all just say we're not gonna play, shit. What do you think gonna happen? It would be anarchy.
Mm-hmm.
Anarchy. See, they don't really understand the power they have. And I really don't care if they buy an MFL franchise or something, but you can't buy it over there.
Can't buy it. No, not for sale.
Don't care how much you got.
No.
That's just like my book I'm writing, The Black Race for Sale, No Takers. And remember that. My book be out shortly, The Black Race for Sale, No Takers. And you think about that title for a second.
Right? Yeah.
Just think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at it, if we're not advocating no violence against other people, I'm just talking about our people. Right. I want to get about time for us to get together. Yeah. It's time for us to understand that we have more power than we think we have.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, we have not done the reconciliation and the healing process. Everybody want to move on. I've been doing this work in the community since I was about 14, 15 years old. Had a chance to go as an international ambassador, right, to Europe. So I've seen how other cultures of people are dealing with their challenges and are dealing with, young people, right? Young people have a voice, right? They're people, young people, right? And we got to realize that there's a time in history where young people actually know more about what's going on than some of our elders. And actually, it's supposed to be a intergenerational communication. It's supposed to be multicultural. We live in communities, right? I think sometimes people take what you just said about doing what I'm supposed to do for my community as I'm taking from somebody else. No, we're not taking from nobody else. There's enough. First of all, this earth that was created in excess, not in what do they call it? Not scarcity. Like when people say things like money don't grow on trees, what are they teaching you? Scarcity. Money, what is money? So don't think about money growing on trees and you got to hurry up and chase it and get it. No, think about wealth building. It's enough out here for you to get, but you got to focus on what you're passionate about and what you love doing. And that's what got me to this point. People say, well, sports is not this, sports is actually good because sports keep a lot of people out of trouble. Sports teach you teamwork. It teach you how to work with difficult people because it's not like you have the best coaches all the time in your life. And one thing I've learned too, it helps you identify mentors. And one thing people misunderstand about a mentor is, and you probably laugh when I say this, we have all had bad mentors. We've had good ones. But sometimes the bad ones have taught you more than the good ones because they teach you how not to be. And so I think we have to really look at what do we want in the end, right? Are we as a community, are we contributing what we need to contribute so that when our communities show up, we're actually contributing and people, whether they want us there or not, can't deny the contributions that we are offering. And I think that's what I realized in working with different communities. And I'm happy that the MFL, we got dance team. It's not just about the men in the organization. You have women on the board. You got women dance team directors. You got women working throughout the organization, doing major things. And shout out to Kelsey too on her new opportunity too. It's people that are doing great work who are not just doing it for the acknowledgement, but they're doing it because they realize that they have a passion and they need to pass it on. And one of the great things I know that people are going to really be excited about is your new venture, teaching people how to own a MFL franchise. I know a lot of people hadn't even know that was coming, but being able to offer a class teaching people how to own a franchise, just teaching about the MFL alone is awesome. But teaching them how to be able to even work, being able to get contracts, being able to work as a vendor, being able to do RFPs within the organization is exciting because how many owners of a league would teach an entrepreneurship class that would do that? And so I just want to say, man, shout out to Dr. Myles and all of the MFL executive board members, GM, all the way down to the people who maybe just be the equipment managers or the fans. Let's not forget about the MFL fans now.
Absolutely.
Let's not forget about them.
And more importantly, you make a good point. The MFL is the laboratory of change. And in this dialogue we have, we want people to understand the laboratory of change. Okay? This is the change that's going on now. And we want people to understand that. And we want them to be a part of what we're doing. It's very important. It's very, very important that they understand. Call us, talk to us. Anything, photographers, whatever, we want you to get an opportunity to experience what we're doing. And it's very important because, you got to understand these young people looking at us. That's why we have the programs working with at-risk youth. No drugs, no drugs, early youth offender program, conflict resolution, because we understand being Black in America is not easy. It's not easy. Right. And I'll say it, the hunt is on. And you're the prey. It's right. Just like that. So when I teach in my programs, our program consists of outreach, education, and prevention. That's the key to it all. Mm-hmm. Outreach, education, and prevention. These three things are very, very important to our young people. Also, we, putting this concept together, now we got to deal with these young individuals that have been playing football almost most of their lives, right. Since they were little boys, since they could pick a football up. Right. Then you played at certain levels and you have to realize that it's over. Right. That's hard for a lot of people, man.
Yeah.
Hard. Mm-hmm. So as you know, Mr. Chuck Barlow Jr., Mr. GM, we provide that opportunity
in-house,
that platform. Well, right. It's not over for you. It's not over for you. Right. And going back to something else you said about mentors, also about great players. Great players, the worst coaches. If you get the mediocre player, they end up being the best coaches.
That's right. That's right.
They don't have their ego. Excuse me. Most of the time, they talk about what they did. We don't care about what you did. When you what you did is irrelevant. And I tell people, why we stress so much about economic development, generational wealth, because you are a billionaire right now. Right. And a lot of people watching this show probably say, what do you mean? You know why? Because you got your health.
That's right.
I'll tell you what, I've never seen a Briggs truck behind a hearse. So you could be a billionaire, but if you old and your body is gone and you have all these ailments, then you ain't gonna enjoy the money. That's so right. When you're in good health and stuff, you take that money and you empower other people. You show them, and I promised myself, and I had 17 grandkids and 5 kids, and you know, all them grown adults. I thank God for their mama that raised them, you know, because I'm doing a lot and stuff. It was very difficult for her, you know. Right. And I also want to thank the wives and a significant people for allowing us to do what we're doing.
That's right.
Hard on them. You know what I mean? We not only being father to our kids, we've been father to other kids.
Right.
You know, and people don't understand that a coach is more than just a coach. He's a mentor. He's a father. Right. He's all these things.
Right.
And then, but there's your significant other, and the wives don't understand that. I mean, she feel for them, but wait a minute, you daddy here.
Right.
But that's not our calling.
Right.
See, when you look at coaches and people in professions of doing things for other people, that's a calling.
It is.
You know, we just not gonna get up and go to the 9 to 5 and come home. Life, you know, is more to life than that. Somebody has to be out front.
That's right.
And you know, I tell people all the time, I'm not looking for. I need field generals. I don't need foot soldiers. I need a leader of men, because that's who's looking up to us. That's and right. They watch everything we're doing. We standing on people's shoulders before us.
Right.
It's going to become time they're going to have to stand on ours.
That's right.
So the MFL, it's I talk to you this way because the MFL is not just about football. It is a laboratory of change.
That's right.
Economic development, jobs, generational wealth, something that we've been denied for years and years and centuries. But you know, we don't want to continue that way. 45 came to the White House when his platform was "Make America Great Again." No, we don't want it to be like it used to be. We want to make America where it used to be. No, we don't.
No, we want it better.
No, we don't. But you got to understand that it takes time. It takes effort. And, you know, a lot of people, it's easy. My old man told me when I was young, it's hard to be what you really want to be in life. It takes no effort to be a bum. You just don't do nothing.
Right.
And people like yourself, Mr. Chuck Barlow, just say, you're a very intelligent man. You got your degrees and stuff. You got family. You say, hey, I'm going to look out for them. But what about the other people? We cannot limit ourselves to just helping our people.
That's right. That's right.
Families. We got, if they are our color, they are our family.
That's right.
And I also want you to know, and I want MFL Nation to know, because you my complexion, that don't make you my kind either.
That's right.
Be careful too.
That's right.
We're saying that too. But all we're saying is, if you don't want to help us, don't hurt us.
That's right. Get out of my way.
You don't need, you know, people putting up negative comments. They don't even know about the MFL. Call us. We'll tell you what you need to know.
Right.
We don't want you to tell, you know what they always say, his story. No. We want our story. We don't want you to tell your story. You know what I mean?
We know that already, right?
Right. You can't tell our story. So when you hear people say, oh, this is his story. No, that's his story. Understand the language now.
This is true.
That's his story. No, we want to tell our story.
Right.
I'm telling you, we had a time that the Lord, God is in charge. Things happen for a reason. A lot of people die from this COVID-19, but have you ever think it's a reason for this? It's a reason for all the things. And the Lord God don't tell you why he do anything. Who are you for him to tell, for you to ask question to him?
Right.
You know what I mean? So
right.
I just want to encourage people to understand that the MFL is here. We've been here going on 27 years. I know it's hard to believe. People always say, hey, this is new. No, it's new to you. This is not new. We've been here a long time. But thank God for social media, and understand we're not talking negative about no other nationality. Right. We just want to look out for our people. Why is it a crime to look out for, empower our people? Trying to get our people to understand generational wealth. Get our people to understand you can come here. We're people like Chuck Barlow Jr. We're educated people. You know what I mean? We're educated people too.
Right.
And we got y'all best interests in heart. So, all you guys want an opportunity, we'll give you that opportunity. But be careful what you wish for.
That's right. That's right.
Because it ain't no excuse.
Right. Yeah, I just wanted, I know we about to get ready to close. I just wanted to highlight the fact that, during this pandemic, a lot of things have come to surface. A lot of things, right? The disparities in our communities have come to surface. Broken relationships have come to surface. Our public school systems not being prepared for this COVID, however we want to look at it. Our leadership is hurting. And I tell people, a lot of times we can complain about a lot of things, but we need to pray for our leadership, number one. I don't know what they're going through. I don't know what they're experiencing, but if they were chosen to be in that position, just like you were chosen to be the founder of the MFL, I'm chosen to be the GM of the Georgia Warriors. When you are chosen, people have to understand that there's a much higher level of pressure on you than on them in the position that they're in to be a complainer. So what I've learned to be a part of that reconciliation and healing is let's pray for the people that we dislike or don't like. Because guess what? It's not that you don't like them. You don't know them to not like them. You may dislike their decision making, but maybe we need to pray a little bit harder for that to happen. But also there have been other nationalities of people that have invited me to the table when some of my own people wouldn't. And you talked about that earlier, being my color don't mean you my kind. And so I ask people to, look deeper in people's hearts. Don't try to judge them so much on their outside appearance, but be willing to learn who they are. Be willing to give them a chance. People gave me a chance. I've been to Europe as an international ambassador at 15 years old. I've seen the world. I've been to Africa at 30. I've seen the world. People gave me that opportunity. I couldn't afford it at the time they gave it to me, but they saw value. So let's start seeing value where some people see nothing. Let's see value. Let's look a little bit deeper than what the surface may show you. There may be a diamond hidden in the rough there. So I thank you for this opportunity to be a part of the MFL, to be on the show today, to just encourage our communities to step it up. Everybody step it up. Stop complaining so much. Step it up. Read to our kids. Spend 20 minutes doing something positive to make our communities and our lives better. So I thank you for this opportunity, and I just continue to pray for the MFL as we expand and continue to do the work that God has put before us.
Absolutely. And we want to just give a shout out to Chancellor Eubanks for joining the MFL Executive Board. We want to.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And that's a great collaboration get ready to happen. And also, the MFL is, the laboratory of change, and we want to bring former players from the field to the front office. Our website is mflishere.com. Our email is experience the MFL. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. And I also want to say to people, we're not here to corrupt anything. But we also want you to understand, for y'all, you Christian people and people of the faith, remember God say, when I come, I'm coming like a thief in the night.
That's right.
And the reason he's coming that way, because like you said, I want to see you as you truly are. I don't want you dressed up. I don't want you get all jazzed up and everything, clean your house, shine your car. So what's going on is because it was ordained that it happened. And I'm not trying to do a lot of preaching and everything, but I want people to understand that, you know, things happen for a reason. The MFL is here. And for people that, you know, we here, you can be a part of it, a victim of it. We really don't care, but we're not going anywhere. And we're going to do the things that God set in our hearts to do with the MFL. That's why we've been around a long time. And for all my young GMs that got an opportunity, they're shocked that they would be GMs as young as they are, because we believe in them. And people always say, you don't have experience. Well, how are you going to get experience if you don't get the opportunity? So that's why I tell people, be careful what you wish for. At the MFL, we are the laboratory of change.
Yes, sir.
And you can listen to another edition of Inside the MFL. I want to thank my guest, Chuck Barlow Jr., GM.
Thank you very much.
Georgia Warriors. And I'll see y'all next week. Thank y'all.
MFL.